We're Robin and Steve. We left off soaking in the geothermal hot springs of Ambrym in Vanuatu with our friends Rich and Jude of Amelie. At least on our boats you can't have a bath, so this was like heaven. From Ambrym we sailed back west across to Port Stanley, where we just happened to turn up at party time. In the 1880s, France and United Kingdom had claimed parts of the archipelago, and on July 30th, 1980, Vanuatu gained independence from the joint rule of the United Kingdom and France.
We stand here today as proud citizens of an independent Vanuatu, a testimony to the strength and resilience of our people. Our journey has not been without its challenges, but we are safe, united in our commitment to building a prosperous and harmonious nation.
It was a day of feasting. But not yet, young child and dog. Dancing and public education. The entire village heard a presentation on sexual and reproductive health, something every person should know about anyway. But mostly this day was about taking pride in being from Vanuatu. It was just lucky for us that some friendly fisher people had invited us along and awkwardly made us the guests of honour.
I just want to say thank you very, very much for inviting us along to your celebrations today on this important day.
The locals celebrated into the night, but we had to kayak back to our boat. Port Stanley is huge. There were no walks where we were anchored, but we did spot a kayak mission from above, thanks to satellite imaging, to that little lake within the mangroves. And that was it. Mission accomplished. Next, we were off to the largest island in Vanuatu, Espiritu Santo, where we found a nice little bay just outside of Luganville. It was good for cow spotting, wreck spotting, and spotting fish. See the fish on our starboard side? And by the way, Steve has gotten a new shirt.
I don't think they're very good.
Here I gave myself a haircut so that I was ready to hit the big city. Yep, here's the city, marked by a cruise ship with a giant water slide. We were off to the markets. Not these ones. These markets were whipped up specifically for cruise boat patrons, with their fluffy, stripy towels. Now we just passed through here to get some vegetables. And then we set off for Turtle Bay, which is tricky to enter, with its extremely shallow lagoon entrance. Of course, Amelie overtook us. Everyone overtakes us. It's a much nicer anchorage at Turtle Bay, and it's not hard to flag down a taxi to get to and from Luganville, where we did find one yummy place to get breakfast and could visit the market for vegetables. We're going to miss these long beans. There's a lot to do in and around Turtle Bay, from kayaking to islets ruled by chickens, to hula hooping, even better, hula hooping with friends. To checking out local wrecks from all kinds of angles. And ever our favourite, snorkeling. I spotted a couple of crayfish, but I couldn't film them. My GoPro had become non-waterproof. Steve to the rescue. He filmed these crayfish and freaked them out in the process, but left them to live long and happy lives, the whole 2 to 4 years of it. There are many little islets to explore. Some are private, but these ones weren't. Another good thing about Turtle Bay is its proximity to blue holes. There are a couple of little creeks accessible by kayak, so exploring these creeks was one of our favourite things to do in Vanuatu. Steve, Rich, Jude and I were joined by our friend Bruce of the Butterfly Trust. We were to head to the Blue Hole. It's 1,000 Vatu each, or about $10 Australian. And it's one of the prettiest things I've seen. It's the best kind of playground, with rope swings and slides and crystal clear water. I'm terrible at sports, but here I'll try to be a sports commentator. First up on the rope apparatus today is Richard of New Zealand.
Hospital's really good here.
And he's made full use of the arc of the rope to make a beautiful splash. But Richard's up there again for round 2, ever the perfectionist. This time touching down slightly before leaving the rope. Next, it's Steve swimming the rope to the ladder.
Careful now.
Steve's always full of surprises. Let's see what he comes up with. Oh, that was a 3/4 backwards tuck by Steve. Let's watch that one again. Lovely open shape for maximum splash. Oh, we've seen a lot of moves already. What kind of thing is Bruce going to add? Oh, is he? I think he's going to do the arc and a half swing. Yes, that was a beautiful arc and a half by Bruce. Next up on the ladder, it's Robin. That's me, speaking in the third person. And Robin's pleased with that one. And now we're up at the diving platform with Richard.
Straight knees. Oh, that was better.
A very supportive crowd here at Blue Hole today. Oh, and who's this joker trying to climb a rope in flippers? Oh yeah, that'd be me. The dismount was tricky. I didn't want to get my flippers tangled.
There you go.
Enjoying the beautiful grounds here at Jude, and then there's Steve off in the distance, heading up to the diving platform. But not to dive, just because it's nice. And back to the rope apparatus. I confirmed that it is indeed easier to climb without flippers. Back in the office/boat, Richard got technical with some of the footage. So we can see that I could have opened my hips a smidge more, but other than that, nice execution. Steve stole the show with this slow motion reverse slide. Well done, Steve. Luckily, these mangrove roots were further downriver from the landing of that slide. Further downriver again, cows. And we found a few holes where spring waters flowed into the creek. And just to shatter the illusion of serenity for you, every day here we heard the whining of chainsaws and the crashing of giant trees. Yep, the world's a mess, but this place is beautiful. Here's a little map recap. After sailing from Luganville to Turtle Bay, we'd generally jump into the back of someone's ute to get to Luganville and back, and Luganville and back. Because for me, one of my missions was to meet the local circus school at the amazing Luganville Youth Centre. We had so much fun sharing skills, even though we didn't share a common language. It's an amazing youth centre and I was so happy to have visited, and to have learnt from their circus coordinator, Jerry. Here's a happy snap from the Turtle Bay Resort. And here's a bit of trivia for you. The owner helped start the circus school in Luganville. but we just stopped here to eat. It was yummy. Soon we must bid these friends farewell as we sail from Vanuatu to Australia. Farewell, Rich and Jude of Amelie, and thanks for leaving this surprise photo on my phone. Join us next time as we sail 870 nautical miles from Vanuatu to Cairns, Australia.